So anyway, we're here, ladies and gentlemen, because we have the word of the week. And the word of the week this week is
agreement.
okay. And
It has lots and lots of connotations here,
well,
but
I'm telling you,
we're going to go pretty deep on it this morning.
are we?
So you're going to have to hold me back.
It's it.
Okay, so
Watch this, Bubba.
you watch it. So it's a mutual arrangement. It's a contract or an understanding between two or more parties. It is an arrangement. It may be spoken or it may be written.
Do you realize there's not a human being on this whole earth that is not going no. An arrangement?
An arrangement?
Yes.
That's right. These things happen every day. Every day. So
Yeah,
they can be written, as I said, they can be verbal, they can be formal, they can be informal, and everything from a legal consent to an emotional alignment.
Yeah, so you could
How
be
about that?
you could be someone who doesn't want people and goes out in the most remote area of the whole world, and you're still going to have an agreement.
That's right. They'll be talking to themselves. That's right. But I love the definition, which is in the Oxford English Dictionary. It says harmony or accordance in opinion or feeling, a negotiated and typically legal binding arrangement between parties as a course of action. A course of action. The word reflects a joining of minds together, hearts, and shared understanding of what is unity. But there's also, when we got arrangement, we got, the agreement, there is disagreement. Right. Now think back real quickly to some of the agreements that we've had over the years. Go back to the 1200s, the Magna Carta. Think about the United States Constitution, the Geneva Conventions. All of those are agreements. And it's more than just somebody signing a piece of paper or somebody giving a nod of the head. It's a reflection. An agreement is a reflection to come and listen and to commit, make a commitment. Love in business and in life. An agreement. It's us that unity is possible. But the more I looked into this and the more I thought about it, I came up with what came to me. Don't look at me like that there, Rick. But it comes up that we have an agreement.
I'm just looking at the smoke coming out of your ears.
I know. I'm pretty, this means a great deal to me because it is so concerning about the lack of effective communication. So I've got this. It says a collision of conversation and responsibility. Okay. Now think about it. Collision.
I'll buy it.
There are two phrases that we hear often, and especially this modern day with our modern communication. Now, both of these statements appear to be wise, but they are very damaging if we don't understand, if we misunderstand these two phrases. One, we agree to disagree. And number two is nobody is coming for you. Now, I told you when we started, this is going to get pretty deep. So I want you to listen real close. And as we say,
with bated breath.
Yes, but I want people to really think about this on the agreements that they make. Agreements. Okay, so at face value, those two phrases, they offer peace and empowerment. They seem to. But beneath the surface of those lies a deeper truth. When misused or misunderstood, the statements can erode relationships and hinder our personal growth. If we misunderstand these two phrases, we agree to disagree, is often used as a verbal ceasefire. Up, we agree to disagree. So a truce is in the middle of disagreement. A truce. Okay, now hold on. It can sound like you're being a mature, respectful individual, but here is the truth. We agree to disagree is often a polite way to walk away from understanding. It's kind of, it's a comfortable exit, but instead, and it's being used instead of pressing into deeper conversations and uncovering roots of difference or seeking some kind of common ground, it becomes a wall of shutting down our curiosity and halting any act of empathy and protecting egos rather than relationships. That's where we're getting all these people that are narcissistic. In personal, professional, and even in political relationships, defaulting to this phrase can become a habit of avoidance.
Yeah, it will never solve a problem.
That's right. We agree to disagree. Now, listen. Okay, so you're not just disagreeing, you are refusing to explore the little word of why do we disagree? Why do we disagree?
See, I kind of never thought of it that way. I thought of it as a pause to think about what you're saying and go back at it.
But that's not the way it's being looked at.
No, I know that, but that's the way I always looked at it.
Yeah.
To go back and let's revisit this issue and see if we can't come to a
Great.
point.
Yeah. Okay. See, our heart really wants to be known and understood. We really want people to know us. That's why in a community we say we're going to support, we're going to encourage, but we're going to hold you accountable. But when you make this statement, you're not holding people accountable. Dismissing discussion leads to emotional problems where your needs are not being met. Now let's look real quickly at the second one. I said, nobody is coming for you. Now this is a clarifying statement. It's not about giving up and abandonment. It's about taking ownership. This phrase reminds us we are responsible for showing up in conversation. We are responsible for trying again and again, even when it's difficult and it's hard. Don't walk away. Remember last week you had the word conflict. Okay, we don't want conflict. We don't just want to walk away. We want to share. We want to talk about what the conflict. So no one can do this work for you. It's what you have to do. The growth of a relationship is that people need courage, and it requires, my favorite word, gumption, to make a decision. The greatest skill in the world you can have is to make a decision. As I said, nobody's coming for you. What you have to ask yourself, will I retreat in comfort, or will I rise to the responsibility? So a final thought here. Do not end the conversation just to avoid discomfort. Don't stop effective conversations. Do not wait for someone else to bring up the understanding. Take the lead. Speak up. Lean into it. Stay curious. And when you care enough, keep talking. You might discover, even in disagreement, connection is possible.
Of course, that's true. But I always thought of this when I have a disagreement
Okay.
about something. I take a my big chief tablet or the yellow pad or whatever you want to call
Oh,
it.
I got one of those right here.
Yes. And I draw a line down the center of it, all the way down.
That's right.
And I put my argument on this side and their opposition on this side. And then you list them all.
Yeah.
And when you come down to the bottom, you figure out who has the more positive facts that make your decision better than their decision or vice versa. And so that has always helped me in coming to a conclusion or a solving of a problem.
That's right. Yeah, that's an excellent way to do it. And you're taking control, your self-control, you're taking control. And when you reflect on that list that you've made, okay, you're thinking, how can I do this better? Where did I make a mistake? Did I do everything that I could do? And so you come to that realization, but you're having those conversations. You're just not throwing your hands up, I quit, and walk away.
That's just an old salesman trick. You write down all the reasons why they should buy something, and then you give it to them and write all the reasons why they shouldn't buy something. And you help them.
Yeah, you can help them by drawing a line through it once you get an agreement.
Exactly. And so, see, it's a salesman trick, but I've used it for solving a conflict
within a relationship. Yeah. And I want to tell you, though, this weekend, when I hit on this agreement, disagreement, I began to reflect on my attitude toward this. And in the past, I have several people that I care for very deeply that I said, okay, we'll agree to disagree. But I was under something like you were. We agree to disagree, but we're going to still talk. No, they didn't want to talk. They took it. But anyway, the word this week is agreement, and you can say disagreement, but use it and be careful and do not leave any stone unturned.
Kenneth O'Neal, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to chat with him, he's always up for buying a cup of coffee or for visiting with you, and it's absolutely free to visit.
Yes, it doesn't cost anything to connect.
That's it. So it's merger@windstream.net, or you can call or text him.
830-285-7010 in the Texas Hill Country. Proud to be here.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a good week. We'll see you next week.